because everything I do with IncrediPaul is empowering Gen Z professionals in STEM to be the most incredible versions of themselves. So that's a recent change I made. It was young professionals, even though I was very much focused on Gen Z and it was really intentional to say it's going to be Gen Z professionals.
Turn this up, turn this up.
Your professional development is one of the keys to your career success. When you combine your desire to grow with actionable steps, your journey to success becomes an incredible reality.
Hi, I'm Paul Faronbi, aka IncrediPaul, and welcome to IncrediPaul Leadership, where we learn how to become the most incredible versions of ourselves by learning from each other. First off, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I also want you to know they could also watch it on YouTube as well. Whether you're listening or watching this episode, thank you so much for your support. Two things I need to tell you about, and I need to make sure that you know, and I'm being more intentional about it, is first thing, you need to pick up the Be Incredible Starter Pack. It has a leadership masterclass, budget template, resume template, and interview guide. Key steps to become the most incredible version of yourself. Completely for free. Go to IncrediPaul.org/start to learn more about that. Other thing is, if you like the sweatshirts or any of the shirts you see where it say Be Incredible, Be Incredible, or I am not an influencer, I'm a leader, hoodies, t-shirts, sweatshirts, or the hats, you can get any of that and support me by going to IncrediPaul.org/merch. So I do a lot of stuff for free, really passionate about what I do, but I made more intentional to make sure the podcast is supported on the merch side of things. It's a good way to support me, rep what I do, and I will also be launching very soon. So keep a watch out for that. Ambassador program is a way to get free merch as well as be a part of what I'm building out. So that's a little bit of an intro just about what I do. I'm trying to do better about giving opportunities to support me and just stay more connected in addition to the podcast. So diving into this episode, you already saw the title, but talking more about self-talk and limiting beliefs. And the reason I wanted to focus on this, getting close as we wrap up 2025, and I'll have a couple more episodes coming out. I have an interview next week, and you don't want to miss that one. And then I'll take a break. And then the last week of the year, we'll have a reflection episode that I'll really dive into what I've learned on this year and what I'm going to be doing going forward as well. So super excited for that. But one of the things I was reflecting on a little bit was how powerful our self-talk and limiting beliefs truly are. Obviously, a limiting belief is something that limits you from what you think you can actually do. And I've mentioned on the show before, what do you think you can? What do you think you can't? You're right. It's a quote from Henry Ford. But what I don't talk about more is how important our self-talk is. What are we saying to ourselves? How are we treating ourselves? And one thing I've been intentional about is making sure I'm talking to myself like I would talk to a friend. Think about the things that you're saying to yourself. Are there things that you would ever tell a friend? Just sit down with it for a second. Are the things you're saying to yourself things that you would ever tell a friend? And if you're like me, someone who's a recovering perfectionist, there are definitely times I have been very unkind to myself. And if I ever caught anyone, not alone myself, talking to someone like that, I would be like, no, what are you doing? You can't talk to someone like that. That is not edifying. That does not help them grow. That does not help them develop. But I talk to myself like that. And so I had to really be intentional to say, I'm not going to talk to myself like that. Key example of a limiting belief I had, or really just not knowing where I should focus, is I talked a little bit about the ambassador program and be able to get free merch that's just going to be launching next year, and there'll be more stuff coming out. I've been piloting it over the last few months and met with them a couple of times. And the last time we met with them was talking about different stuff we're doing with social media. And I said something that was really limiting, really negative around Instagram, saying that I don't like Instagram, that's not for me, all these different things. And I said that in the moment, but the next day I ended up making a LinkedIn post about it. I realized that that was a limiting belief, that for whatever reason, I just don't have a passion around Instagram. I mean, in general, I come off extroverted when I meet people, but I very much like one-on-one interactions. I'm okay with speaking and doing those things. Those don't drain me. But being in large groups and having to talk to a lot of different people at the same time can be stressful for me. And so a lot of that is social media in the sense, especially on Instagram. I feel like there's a lot more eyes, a lot more visual, and I'm definitely someone that, yes, I can take pictures, I can do video, I post those things. And LinkedIn has just been my comfort zone. And so I've been able to share some deeply personal stuff on LinkedIn about even navigating a lot of stuff, a relationship, ending a marriage, and like all the growth and development I've had from there. But for whatever reason, it took me over a year to even share about that stuff blatantly on Instagram and post some graphics about it. And what I realized, and I'm being more intentional about, is how I see Instagram or sort of social media as as using it as a tool, but not letting it keep me from where I should be going. Because everything I do with IncrediPaul is empowering Gen Z professionals in STEM to be the most incredible versions of themselves. So that's a recent change I made. It was young professionals, even though I was very much focused on Gen Z, and it was really intentional to say it's going to be Gen Z professionals. And with any mission or anything that you're doing, it's not like I'm going to ignore people that are not Gen Z or who are not in STEM. That's not the case, but that's very much my focus. Is in anything, if you don't have a specific focus, it's hard for people to resonate and connect with you. And I'm someone that really values connection. And so I had to sit with that thought about, why is it that I don't value Instagram or I don't like Instagram? I really came to a limiting belief that I didn't think I could ever really grow from Instagram because I wasn't willing to put myself out there. And that was the main thing. There's plenty of stories and things that I haven't shared that I know could potentially connect with people, but there's always been something at the back of my mind that I don't want to become this public persona. But then it was really something, a person of faith, Jesus first and I am second, realizing that when I don't share those things, or I'm not putting myself out there, I'm not fully living out my God-given potential. I am limiting what God has in store. And me showcasing or talking about the things I'm doing, whether they are positive or negative, I tend to share more of the negative stuff or improving stuff than the positive things, because I am afraid of being seen as too successful, if that's even a way to phrase it. And this is something I've been honestly unpacking for the last few months. I had a good conversation with a mentor, a spiritual mentor, and I was just sharing with him all the different things that I was working on and things that were coming. And then he mentioned something and said, why is it that I don't know about this, people know about this? I had to think about it. And it really comes down to the fact that I really am not finding the community that I know I need that can understand some of the things I want to do. And so I think that lends itself into why I'm so passionate about leadership and personal growth and building out this incredible community, because not everyone is all about personal growth. And obviously I'm being more intentional about having fun and doing different things and just understanding where are the blockers and things, and not being so results focused that I don't enjoy life. That's a work in progress, but also realizing that it is okay to share my wins and I can point it back to Jesus, and really being intentional with the fact that everything that I do or I've experienced and I've overcome is not by my own doing. It is just the graces God has given me. So I've been more intentional already the last few months about when things happen on social media, or like just sharing with people like, hey, this has gone on, but this is what God has been doing in my life. And will say that I have not arrived yet, but I am committed to achieving that. So with that, I am no longer saying that I don't like Instagram. I'm saying I'm learning to love it or learning to like it and using it as a tool. It doesn't mean I'm going to spend a lot more time on there. Fortunate to have a team of people that can help me with that, at least on the podcast Instagram, and I post some stuff on my personal one as well that they can help with. That was just real time, a limiting belief I had on something really small. I know there's a lot of people that are really successful on Instagram and socials in general. Yes, I get decent success from that, but it's like, I know there's a lot of people that know me or find me through podcast channels or different other in-person word of mouth things. So I haven't focused as much on it. So in a way, I've limited myself in that regard. So last few months been really intentional about having someone that's helping manage social media for me, someone that's helping manage outreach stuff for myself, for IncrediPaul as a whole, building out what this ambassadors look like. And so those are some key things just for me that I want to share. And then I recently read a book about what to say when you talk to yourself. And talks about being kind to yourself, but also a reminder in that the positive self-talk and affirmations does not negate the reality. There's this whole idea of toxic positivity where you're just like, oh, everything is good, nothing's bad. That does not help you. That is cognitive dissonance. And it's really understanding that, hey, negative stuff happens, life happens, but here's the reality. Here's what I'm changing. And it really comes back to a book that I've referenced so much, Relentless Solution Focus, this RSF, about what is happening right now, what can I do to make things better? And it is a really crucial thing to be mindful of. So I know this is a little different episode. I think it definitely relates directly to leadership, self-talk, and limiting beliefs. But for myself, is just understanding that whatever happens there, it may not look or end up with the way I want it to end up. And there's this aspect of avoiding failure. But this mantra I keep telling myself is the pathway to success is paved with failure. Even if things don't work out the way I want it to go, I can learn something. And the only L's I take are lessons as opposed to losses. So I really appreciate you tuning into this episode. Hopefully it resonates with you. If you have self-talk or limiting beliefs, that is where a coach comes in, mentors come in. And really for me, it's finding, so I've had coaches and mentors in the past, but I'm really trying to find people that are more lined up with the things that I'm doing right now, as opposed to things I'm doing in the past. So if you are someone that needs a coach or mentor and you resonate with any of the stuff I do, whether it's within the podcasting space, really connecting with the younger generation, like definitely reach out. I would love to support, love to help and see how we can build something together, and being really intentional about community, doing stuff with the podcast community, and trying to figure out what it looks like to create a community within what I do within IncrediPaul leadership as well. So the ambassadors are one way to do that, and they're helping me. I'm learning from them. They're learning from me. As we grow together, we are intentional. We can be the most incredible versions of ourselves. Thanks for listening.
Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. We'll see you here next time. And be incredible.